Hey guys, I'll just gonna show you what I'm working on because there's a few things that I've done and I have to show them, and it's been a long time, so apologies. There's gonna be soon another video about something. I'll show you that. Yeah, there's a lot of work. And I've started working 2 days ago, really hard working, so I would present a lot of new features in the future. Finally, maybe I'll become a workaholic, just like my New Year's resolution was about. Anyways, I have this. I'm in a folder where I save things. It's called levels. I save levels, and I am able to save and load in chunks, of course, because it's easy to save parts of terrain instead. I still don't. It will be easy to save terrain in parts. Right now I don't do this stuff because terrains are not so big, but once they're gonna be big, I'll have to be loading and saving them in chunks. Just like in Minecraft. There's a lot of copying from AdventureCraft and Minecraft that you will see, but of course I'll do something original with that stuff, what I will copy. And of course there's a purpose, because good stuff has to be copied and updated, I would say. Anyways, terrain info is for basic information before you load the terrain, and we got a thumbnail. Now we're able to actually take snapshots or screenshots. I'm not sure what it is. It's a part of a screen, and that word kind of went into my mouth. Anyways, we have two new tools. We have select tool, we have a link tool. We have no problem on drawing blocks anymore that I had, where I would draw on the side of the block and there would two blocks pop up instead. Even if I press the mouse button once, it doesn't happen anymore. And now I can even draw below a surface. So I'm drawing below this surface. Just to prove, here you go, I draw a few blocks that would normally hit the surface, but that's how it's done. I'll remove that and I'll show you what's this thing is all about, the select tool. I can select a few blocks, I can copy them, I can rotate them, make walls if I want to. Yeah, I can make vertical walls as well, so I can rotate in any kind of direction. I can also select and additionally select other areas if I want to. So I could select something like this. Maybe I want to deselect, so I selected with Control, I deselect with Shift, and I will take this area that I wouldn't normally take in one take, and here we go. We have something copied and pasted. Yeah, I was trying to make a similar video like this for such a long time. There were so many bugs though that I figured that I have to really focus on actually fixing the bugs rather than making a video. So I'll just finish it up as quick as possible, make a very simple level, and I kind of want to release it a little bit after I am done with everything, because it might give additional struggles because of the version incompatibility for levels. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but there might be a few problems if I would release it too early, what I was thinking about. But one of the big reasons why I don't want to do this is that checkpoints can still be abused, and you can still go around the checkpoints and go to the finish. I could just simply go down to the finish, and I would trigger it. So I will lock the ability to trigger finish, but I will have to improve the way checkpoints behave. I know it's just a few lines of code, but I want to do everything inside of this game, because it wouldn't normally make sense for a spawn point to also do something else and block some kind of goal. I don't find this very useful. Maybe I'm thinking right now, maybe the checkpoints or spawn points can have a different functionality in different games, but I will leave it as it is and just add a few more blocks around it. So it's gonna be a few more blocks, and I will call it a structure that you will be able to copy and paste, and that would be our checkpoint. You'll get it once it's done, of course, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not releasing, because it will kind of scrap away a few moments of fun, because you can kind of cheat. I don't really encourage cheating, and you can of course make your own adventure, but just to discourage the cheating as a whole. And I am capable. What's happening? Why my space? Yeah, sometimes it black screens on me. I don't think it black screens for you right now, but yeah, that was weird. So I can take a screenshot. As you can see, the boundaries of how much what's the area of the screenshot, and I can see the screenshot right here. I can select what is that? A frame? Yeah. I can select a frame, I can take a snapshot or screenshot. I have no idea what I'm taking now anymore. Once I have a choice, once I have two clocks, I don't know which working the best. Well, I will say that's a screenshot because that's how I say it in the code. Anyways, the link tool. Oh, and I always forget to show you the possibilities with the select tool. So the last thing, which is pretty cool, is that you can use this thing as a brush. So I have selected 3x3 blocks, and I can simply use it as a brush. It's pretty fun. And it's very good for making big areas, but I'm not sure if it's very good, as you can actually just do it with a... Okay, there's a few things that I haven't checked. So yeah, here we go, a few bucks. That's one of the things that I don't want to release. This version. Yeah, I haven't even pressed this button for ages. It was like spider webbed of how old it was. I'm just adding features, and other features get really effed up. Anyways, the link tool is pretty cool. It's like in AdventureCraft you would have a tool which would look like a cursor and would let you link things. So for testing purposes, I've added a light block, similar for what we have in AdventureCraft, and I will link this light block with my link tool. I can also remove it with a shift, but I don't need to. I can select a color in the light block. I can select the amount of light it emits. So let's pick up red. It kind of looks like orange, but because it is projected on a green surface, I can also deselect, but it's very, very complicated of how it works, because it doesn't really work. this whole linking mechanism, but the basics is going to be that you will have the same lines of code that you're able to, or commands that you're able to make, and you will have this that will tell of what type of command you're running. It's not just bool or string or float, it's not just values, but of what this command line is going to do. And the abilities is to make it a carrier whenever it's triggered by a player or by entity which you select right here. You can select any entity or entity group, for example mob, non-living entities, living entities, any entity, or you can select so no entity can actually trigger, only these links can trigger, only other trigger blocks, because that's why I've shown a trigger block icon. Anyways, so we have a carrier, so whenever this block is triggered, it's going to trigger this line. If it's true, it's going to trigger every single link. And if it's a little bit different because it doesn't require any triggering for the actual block, it will check every single frame if this line is true. If I would get out of this panel, you would see that my light block has been turned off because goal is not true. Also, there is this AND, so it works with a carrier and a if. Once the carrier or if is triggered, it will check also this line of code, and both of these lines of code has to be true in order for a light block to be triggered on. Alright, so I'll show you a simple example. Oh, well, I didn't want it to do that, but basically this is the example that actually works. So you don't really necessarily have to do an uppercase and lowercase like this. This will work as well, and all the lowercase would work as well. So that's what I will leave you guys with, and I will explain the linking in more detail. It's very similar as AdventureCraft. The big difference is that it actually shows arrows and who is actually triggering which block, so that makes more sense to know these things. Okay, I think that's about it. I'm just gonna test it and show something, how I gonna run this level. Again, there's so many bugs and so many features that I want to add that I don't want to focus on actually releasing the game, but I'm sure gonna do it very soon, like in 2 weeks or something, if I'll be able to keep up the good work that I'm doing. Alright, so I've started testing. Oh, and I also added a very big deal, is jumping. Okay, I was wondering if jumping is gonna add or remove for the gameplay, if it's something that I intend to do. Well, it really complicates everything, so it makes more like a parkour thing. So yeah, I just added jumping. It was a few lines of code, but it feels like it added so much to the gameplay, just like a movement of a ball is a few lines of code. Every physics is done by Unity, so I didn't have to work too hard on that. So the actual gameplay is just a few lines of code, you know, you can place blocks and whatnot. It's so simple, but behind it there is this whole structure of things that going on that will be applied for other games. So I have triggered the goal and the light block was turned on, and it looked pretty well. Oh, that is kind of deceiving, that jump down. Ugh. Okay, I'll gonna save a lot of time. Oh, wow. I was actually beaten by myself. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can finish it under 12 seconds, maybe. And that'll be it. That's gonna be it. For now, yeah, I did it. Actually did it under 10 seconds. I can save the terrain. I'll select level 3 because I already have a lot of levels created. And hopefully it works. Otherwise, okay, so you can see that I have gained an A. And this is my best time. It works. Yes. Yeah, I've been working on bugs so long that every time I have this anxiety of actually loading a level and checking if it works, because usually it doesn't. Anyways, I think that's about it. Again, I'll make a video about link tool in more detail, because I'll be adding a timer. I'm gonna be adding a timer block just from the AdventureCraft, a storage block and a trigger block. So these are 3 blocks that I'll be adding. Maybe something else, who knows what's gonna come up, but that's the plan. So until then, I'll see you guys next time. Oh yeah.